So the secret to Underwater City is, one, you need to have, we need to choose a texture for the water. So I'll go ahead and use this to make this water right here blue. And we'll go ahead and call this Underwater City. And I'm going to change the color of the text to white so that we can see it a little better, because it's kind of hard to see. Underwater City. Is it set to overlay? Let's change it to normal. There we go. Underwater City. Okay. So for this trick to work, you need to make sure that you have the ocean the right color that you want it. So you have that color, and we're going to use the luminosity blend mode to make stamps look like they're underwater. Okay. So we'll pick a stamp that we kind of want to represent the city. We could use this one right here. This will work just fine. I'll scale it up so you can see it. I should have mentioned this in the beginning, but always scale up the stamps so they're easier to work with. When they're really small, you have to like zoom in, and then you have to like, it's kind of harder. It looks a little bit grainier. So whenever you're working with compositions, make the stamp bigger so that you can see what it looks like and you can work with it. So place it on the blue space where the water is, and then you're going to change that blend mode to luminosity. Now, luminosity only picks up the color that's beneath it. It does not change its brightness or darkness. So you'll have to bring the brightness down a little bit to match, because at 100% brightness, it's a little too bright. So you bring the brightness down like this, do that. And you can also bring the contrast down a little bit too. There we go. I'll bring the brightness up just a little bit more, about there. And then now you have this illusion of looking underwater. Now, you're not done there, of course. Of course, to make it look like it's underwater, you're probably going to want to put something on top of it. It could be waves. It could be a ship. It could be all kinds of things. You also want to maybe throw down some kind of terrain, like maybe throwing a mountain or some kind of coral reef that's on top of it. So we could also use that mountain stamp again. We'll pick a mountain stamp. We'll put it underneath here. Let's go with this one. Put it down a layer. This one needs to go. Let's put this down a layer. Oops. Okay, there we go. Let's turn the clip mask off. You see there's a clip mask. We'll make sure to turn that off. And then we'll change that blend mode to luminosity. Same thing. Go ahead and bring that brightness down. There you go. And then we'll change the scale of this to where it kind of matches. There we go. So now you have that. And then I think what I should do is probably bring the contrast down a little bit, bring the brightness down a little bit more, and there you go. So now you have some terrain and that. So from there, what I would do is I would want to put some waves like on top of it. So you can use, I think there's wave stamps on top of the line tool. Let me type in wave to see. See, there's no waves in the Fantasy World style, so you might have to switch over to a different style. Let's go to Fantasy Regional. I'm pretty sure there's some waves in there. We'll click that. You can also paint them. You can use the line tool. You could use the top layer. There's so many options, but we'll go with stamps just to go for speed. You'll notice that there are some effects. There's some of these waves right here. These work just fine. Just make sure that you place them above like this. Now, I don't normally have these stamps at 100%. I'll generally have them be a little bit smaller, but I'll go ahead and select them all. You can bring the opacity down like this. You can change the blend mode to like lighten, or I think overlay works as well. You can change it to overlay. You can change it to the lighten and then bring the opacity down. So you have some waves underneath. On top of that, you can also throw in, and make sure these waves are at the right layer, by the way. We'll select all from the set, go down a couple layers, and then you can put a boat on top of it. We'll go back to Fantasy World, type in ship. Let's go with, since it's an isometric, because it's isometric, we should use an isometric ships and boats. So you can take a ship and just kind of place it. Let me bring the opacity back up and just place it right here on a wave here. You can put another boat, this ship right here going this way if you want. So all these different kind of options that you can kind of go with, just to let you know that it's underneath, right? So the trick the trick here is depth, and to pull off depth, it's about layering, right? Start with your mountain, put the city on top of that, then go ahead and put some waves on top of that, and then put some ships or whatever on top of that. So that's the trick to depth, is all about layering, as well as using contrast. But you don't really need to use a lot of contrast here. But this is the simplest way to make a city. Just what I would do is just make the city first. Don't even worry about using the luminosity blend mode. Once you've constructed the city POI, select all of those stamps, change to luminosity blend mode. If you're using mountain stamps or cliffs, just know that you have to turn the clip mask off, because the clip mask is going to pick up whatever texture is on the FG layer. So when you select the stamp, scroll down and click that little toggle clip mask off. Okay, so very helpful. Let's go ahead and create group. We'll call it underwater city. So pretty easy to make an underwater city, right? Just construct the city, change the blend mode, and then start stacking your stamps. Super easy stuff. So I'll save it and move on to the next one. Yes, add a ship trail, or what's called wake, right? Ships leave a little bit of a wake. And so to show that, you can use wave or wake stamps from Fantasy Battle Maps. There is some wake stamps that you can use. So very, very helpful.